Hello and welcome to episode 263 of Prog Review. Have I told you about my Patreon? Have I told you about my Patreon account? Because I'm a no good low down money grabber. Have I told you about it? I'm going to tell you about it again. Go on. www.patreon.com/lock. LOCK. That's me. Go over there. I demand it. Go over there and donate your money. And if you donate, I don't know, $5 a month, you can ask me to review an album. And that's what somebody's done. And that's why I'm reviewing this album. This is Satellite. That's not the name of the album, that's the name of the band. Satellite and A Street Between Sunrise and Sunset. They're a Polish band. Bloody Poles coming over here, stealing their jobs, undercutting everyone with their cheap labour. That's what you're used to. If you from that probably come across a bit wrong, didn't it? But anyway, I don't mind the Poles. Poles are all right. Prostitutes are very cheap. That sounds very politically incorrect. No, it's the Estonians are cheap, isn't it? Oh God, this is getting worse and worse. This is meant to be a review of Satellite's debut album from 2003, and instead I'm making borderline racist comments about the Poles and the Estonians. I could claim it was comedy and try and get away with it, but no. Who cares? Who cares? Who really cares? Nobody cares. This is YouTube. You're going to be offended by anything because that's the internet. The internet's motto is, let's all be offended. You can tell I'm doing this late at the night because my stream of thought is dribbly at least, very dribbly. Yeah, one of my Patreon people suggested this. Because hey, they thought it'd be a laugh. Now you can tell this is Prog because look, there's a unicorn. You probably can't see it on the cover. In fact, if you open up, you see, look, there he is. There's a unicorn. That's how you know it's Prog. Yeah, I mean, I had to track this down. I mean, again, the guy, ponies up the money, but I had to pay for this. I had to go and find a copy, and so I'm not making any money out of this Patreon thing when I'm hunting down obscure Polish progressive rock albums. But I found this one anyway. It didn't totally upset me. It didn't totally offend me. I can understand why a lot of you guys enjoy neo-prog. I'm only going to do the one thing because I'm holding the CD in the other hand. I can understand, listening to this, why you would enjoy neo-prog because, well, it's a bit like the old Stephen Wilson thing, isn't it? I mean, it's all, looking over your shoulder, and there's nothing more like that on this album. It's 72 minutes long. 72 minutes long. And I've listened to it a good few times. I'll never get that time back. Never. Again, it's not that it's bad. It's that if you're going to do a 72-minute album, you and a half have to be good to keep people's interest. Again, the first two tracks alone is nearly half an hour long. There's one track is 14 minutes, the other track's 12 minutes. The thing about Satellite is, boy, they throw in the kitchen sink. They really do. Everything moves at a really great pace. I really like the pacing of the songs. It's like with a real sense of urgency. And so 1 minute you'll be tootling along, and the next minute there'll be a keyboard solo, and the next minute there'll be a guitar solo, and then it'll change tempo, and then there'll be a soft guitar strummy bit, then we're off again, and it's like, it's it keeps your interest, even though these songs are rather long. It doesn't disappear up its own fundament. It does kind of keep you interested by its stop start, let's mix it up kind of attitude. I kind of enjoyed that. But saying that, all the riffs you've got, all the tones, all the wibbly wobbly keyboards, very Marillion-esque. You can see where their influences are from. Again, some of the some of the keyboard tones remind me of like early Marillion. But again, the keyboard player's got a good sense of melodies. There's quite a lot of melodic stuff on there. Again, that's another thing I enjoyed about the band. They had a good sense of melody. There are tunes. There are tunes on there. Problem is there's just a lot of stuff to digest. There's an awful lot of. Hey, look at us! Look what we can do, and that's all well and good. But you do get the feeling with these bands that they're very capable, but they're kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater by just doing everything at once. Instead of crafting and honing and recording a song that's memorable and it's just let's throw everything at it. And I think by doing that they lose a certain something. You don't get a sense that well, it's with the exception of Yes. I know Yes did. They kind of threw everything at close to the edge. Let's just do everything at once. Again, I think bands tend to look at that as a blueprint and think that's the best way to go, and sometimes I don't think it isn't. I'm burbling on, aren't I? I feel like I've entered a negative feedback loop and I'm just going around in bloody circles again. It opens with the weather forecast. I like the line, you saw the rain, I saw the rainbow, and I can't believe it. My blooming battery light's flashing. It said I had half a battery, and now it's. If this cuts out, you know why. If this. You saw the rain, I saw the rainbow. The weakest point of the band is the vocalist. He's a little bit lost in the mix. He's a little bit breathy with his vocal performance. I mean, it's perfectly adequate, but you do, need a bit of welly sometimes, and he's lacking a bit of welly. Needs a bit of power in there. Again, the first two songs are epics. Midnight Snow is a ballad. Also, again, with this, the running order's wrong. I think again having two big songs back to back. They could have put the ballad in between the two just to give it a sense of pacing a bit better. No Disgrace is all right. Not Afraid Now is. Again, Street Between the title track of Street Between Sunrise and Sunset is very much like the opening tracks. With them just running at it, and it ends with a nice kind of soft. I really like the last track. Yeah, Children. It was kind of soft and, right again. It reminded me of Meridian or even that other fella, the big Scottish fella. I'm not allowed to mention anymore. Again, it does sound a bit like him as well on here, but obviously better. But yeah, it's. I'm torn because again, it wasn't like, oh, it sounds like that. It sounds like that. You do get a sense that they were trying to, do something a bit different just by just covering so much ground with what they did. But it's just too much of it. It makes no sense to have a 72-minute album unless it's the first and last album you're ever going to record and it is your ultimate artistic statement. It makes no sense to do that, and so the pacing of the album is just completely exhausting. It tires you out. It's not a pleasant experience when you get to the end of it. Some of the tracks, like I say, Not Afraid, No Disgrace, could have been left off or developed a bit more. That's not because they're the short tracks. It's just I felt they were a little bit, wanting. Like the guitarist, I thought the guitarist was really good. I liked the guitar tones he was using. Again, very fluid, very melodic, and he's playing lots of lead guitar, and that spoke to me. again, the keyboard player was good. I liked his use of arpeggiator, and there was some like kind of dancey rhythms going on. So again, they were trying to mix up genres, which I kind of liked. You know, again, for 2003, it was good to hear that. Drumming was solid, but it sounded a bit hollow. Again, it's just the production sound. Some of the tom playing, you know, you get that hollow tom sound. It just sounded a bit derivative. Yeah, the bass is all right. It just kind of brings it all together. Nothing, you know, no real distinction in the bass playing. It's, like I said, it didn't upset me. It was all right. Too long. Is it an album I'd go back to? I might put it on again. It's one of those records you might put on and say, here, this is Polish prog, you know, just to show your friends sort of thing. But I don't think it's something that I'm gonna, you know, want to go back to. I might play it to the missus to see what she thinks. Cause it's always good to get a second opinion. I'm not going to sell it on because again, I think it's cool to have a Polish progressive rock album. Though I don't particularly want to hear every fucking Polish progressive rock band out there now. I feel like I've sampled it, if you know what I mean. Everyone's complaining. Have you tried this band? Have you tried these? Lithuanians are good. But you know, the problem with it is it's not progressive. It's prog. Remember, progressive music is music that strives to move forward, you know, and redefine genres and, you know, things like that. And prog is where you basically copy progressive rock music from the 70s, recorded by British bands between 1967 and 1977. That's progressive music, and that's what neo-prog is. But if you like that kind of old guff, and I know a lot of you out there do, a lot of you, you know, listen to your Porcupine Trees and your Anathemas and your Opeths and all that, you're probably going to fucking jizz your fucking pants over this. You'll say things like, it's a lost classic. You know, it's a leader in the Polish prog genre. That's what you'll say. I'll say it's an interesting debut, but too long as an album. It fails because it's just too long. You know, so I mean, I like the urgency of it. The playing, again, they're all very good players. They're all very, very competent players, and that's the problem. They're all very good, and it's a shame that they're limited by the genre that they decided to stick with. Because if they threw away some of these cliches, these musical cliches that they're stuck in, they could probably produce a very interesting record. But alas, everybody wants to sound like Genesis, and they can't, because there's only one. There can be only one. And that's it. My name's been Darren Rock. I've been talking about... Oh, I've got to give it a bloody rating, haven't I? Oh, fuck. I'll give it... See, again, I feel kind of benevolent towards it. It's not that... Again, it didn't really make me pull my hair out. There's some bits I liked. There were some moods on it that I really enjoyed, and there's some bits that I could have lived without. So I'm going to give it three unicorns out of 5. I'm going to give it 3 unicorns out of 5. 3 Polish, hard-working, honest unicorns out of 5. And that's that. So anyway, I don't know where I'm at. The card was full on my camera. You tell I'm out of practice, can't you? It's all gone to pot. He's let it all fall to pieces. But anyway, to reiterate, I'm going to give this 3 unicorns out of 5. Just in case you missed that bit, that's 3 unicorns out of 5. My name's been Darren Rock. I've been talking about Satellites, a street between sunrise and sunset. Love the cover. Very, you know, it's got unicorns and a man who's kind of torn between reality and mythology. You know, all your prog rock cliches are there. You know, and I know I rotter. And like I say, do check out the old Patreon because, well, I need the money more than anything else. And we'll do this all again soon. Like I said, if you burn to have an album reviewed by myself, then you're gonna have to pony up the money, because you know I'm not your bloody prostitute, not anymore. I'm taking control. Well, I'm your bloody prostitute if you pay me to do so. I haven't thought this through. I really haven't thought this through at all. Anyway, my name's been Darren Lock, and it's getting really late, and I shouldn't do these late of the night because it all ends up being a dribbling fucking mess. But hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hopefully you will check out Satellite. And again, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section below and name a load of obscure progressive rock bands that I neither care about or will probably ever check out, because that's the way it goes. But if you pay me, if you cross my palm with silver, I will feign interest and I will do my best to squirt my brains into the camera. That sounded even worse than it was. What a way with words. I used to be a writer, you know. I used to get paid for putting words in front of another. Now look at me. Look at me. I'm just like a fucking tramp. Look at me. What do you care? You don't even fucking care, you bunch of bastards. Only one more thing to say. I'm really tired. And that is, are you ready? This is the longest prog. This is the longest meandering prog review ever. Well, I'll give you a big one. There's been a drought, but I'll give you a big one. The reason there's been a drought, looking after my kids' summer holiday, right? I thought I'd give you the old vinyl solution just to keep you going. And now we're back, and there'll be more. There will be more. But like I said, I don't know what I said. Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say. Prog on.